Do you think it was an attempt to provoke this response from your peers?
Look, again, we don't know. The problem is the outcome is very clear. I've been called the most hated person in the law school at Sydney University. People have made things up about my family. People have said they can never forgive me. They've sworn at me. They've sent me private direct messages attacking me. And so whether it was deliberate or not, it doesn't change the outcome. And I think the university should have considered their actions more closely before resetting this exam.
Yeah, well, I've seen some of the comments that were posted to that page, that some of them are really extremely vile. How did they make you feel?
It's very, very upsetting. And I think what's worse is behind the anonymous Facebook discussion page, you don't actually know who's making the comments. It could be the same 5 people who have it out for me, or it could be 50 of my peers. You just don't know. And that's one of the scary parts about social media.
Yeah, it sure is. And especially when you're dealing on a daily basis with these people. I mean, you could be standing next to them in the cafeteria for all you know.
Well, that's right. I mean, you never know. And I think this is the hard part, and this is why so many big institutions operate with impunity, because it is a very scary thing to actually stand up and speak out about issues that are a matter of right and wrong, frankly. This exam was just wrong, and now my reputation and my standing among my peers has been dragged through the mud. And that's a very sad fact, but sometimes you do have a higher duty to speak out and to advocate for what is objectively right.
Yeah, well, I admire that. Now, when the original exam was withdrawn, the university said that it was done because the exam had been compromised, because it had been so widely distributed. But did the university ever concede that the names in the exam were in poor taste?
No, so that's the thing. The university has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing and maintained the fact that the whole thing is just a coincidence. It's very hard to believe, frankly, given that every single name was the name of someone in my class or my cohort. But even if it was a coincidence, it seems you would have to be pretty incompetent to not do a 3-second search of the class list and realise everyone was someone in my class or someone in my cohort who would be sitting that exam. So they haven't admitted fault, but the outcomes have been detrimental.
Well, it would seem reasonable that you have something of a potential case for defamation here, wouldn't you say? I mean, if so, are you considering your legal options at the moment?
At the moment, I'm considering all of my options. My primary concern is holding the Sydney University Law School to account and making sure no law school, let alone Sydney Law, ever produces such a biased exam again, and is never reckless enough not to check the names used in the exam and make sure they do not belong to one of the students sitting that exam. That's my primary concern.
Yeah, well, fair enough and diplomatically put, but I'd have to say it would be incredibly amusing to see a law student sue a law faculty.
Well, they train us to be lawyers.
Well, that's right, yes. I hope they've trained you well. That's all I can say. Now, do you have any idea who the person is who wrote this paper?
No, we don't. We don't at all, and we've been given very little information. As part of the formal complaint process, they will hopefully undergo an investigation into that, but whether the author of the exam is revealed or not, we're yet to see.